You cannot imagine how much I despise thumbnail text like that, so I gotta parody them. Oh, and apparently they click well. Anyway, when reaching Union level 45, you get a free 5-star weapon selector, and whatever you end up choosing...
No, your account is not ruined.
However, we can still talk about which weapon is technically the best choice, so let's go. Usual disclaimer, all info is based on the CBT2, and if anything changes, you will find a pinned comment below. Besides that, I can only provide calculations on a theoretical basis, since I cannot know your specific team, which resonators you even have, your equipment and investment, the enemies you're facing, team compositions, or even how well you play in the first place. So we will have two parts to this video. The first part will just give you a tier list for the weapons, and if you don't care and don't want to think for yourself, you can stop watching after the next 10 seconds are over. However, if you do, please leave me a like and a comment, cause that's how the YouTube algorithm works. In any case, in the second part we will dive in depth into why I ranked the weapons the way I did. So here's the tier list. Got it? Cool, you can stop watching now. Oh, you're still here. Oh, great. So, before we can actually talk about the math behind all of that, we have to talk about how the Tower of Adversity works. That is because I firmly believe all tier lists and meta takes will be based on this. The higher floors require you to have 3 teams of, well, usually 3 resonators. Anyway, you are able to switch their equipment in between floors. As an example, if you have been using Yin Lin on floor 2, you can take her weapon and give it to, for example, Angkor when using her on floor 3. This first and foremost means if you're able to have all, or at least many, of your main DPS using the same weapon type, the most efficient choice for you is to just take said weapon type. On the other hand, this obviously also means always look at what you already have and what you need. If you already have a level 90 R5 rectifier, taking maybe a sword instead is the better choice for your account overall if you only have Yin Lin who actually uses rectifiers. By all this yapping, I basically just mean it is complicated. However, if you only care about selecting the statistical best weapon based on a rough DPS difference, we can do some math about that. So how do we go about that? First, we will divide all the current resonators in their respective weapon groups and then cover them one by one. Afterwards, we will rank all characters' DPS differences and can hence determine which weapon is technically and mathematically the best choice. Again, technically and mathematically. This means it is not necessarily the best choice for your account in any given scenario. This is very important to understand. Take this info I provide to learn and think for yourself. Don't just do what I, or anyone for that matter, tells you to do. Now, go get a coffee or tea and let's start. First, the rule set. We will not cover supports as they are really hard to evaluate, keep this in mind. As the higher floors in the Tower of Adversity are usually a single boss, we will only look at single target damage. This will make resonators solely focused on AoE, such as Yan, inherently worse. Keep that in mind as well when evaluating the data for yourself. The baseline weapons we will compare against will be the craftable ones due to the ease of access. As I already showed in my early game priority video, you can watch that right here up in the top right hand corner, you can expect to reach Union level 45 as a free to play in about 1 month. This means 4 scar kills and 4 drops from the Bellborn. That makes 8 of these materials in total, and hence you can craft 4 of the craftable weapons.
That's not actually relevant to the comparison, but keep that in mind on which weapons you already can possibly have. I just wanted to tell you.
Last but not least, I will only compare damage dealt differences, not DPS differences. That is because I do not have all frame counts for all characters, and I do not yet know perfect theoretical rotations for all resonators in all scenarios. This also means do not evaluate a resonator's strength based on the numbers shown. If I can inflict 1 million damage within 1 rotation, but I need 10 minutes to do so, I will fail the challenge. Hence, those numbers are a reference point and do not reflect a resonator's strength. This is extremely important for you to understand. For the sword characters, we have Rover, Sanhua, Yang Yang and Danjin. I don't really wanna bore you by reading hundreds of numbers to you, so here they all are in comparison. The highest increase is Danjin with around 42.5%, whereas Rover's around 32%. On average, sword wielders gain 37% more damage. For the broad blades, we have Jian and Calcs. Highest is Calcs with around 44%, but Jian is not really far behind. This leaves the average at 41.5%. For our DPS gauntlet wielders, we kinda only have Yuan Wu and Ling Yang. However, Yuan Wu is death scaling and hence does not make much use of both weapons, because they give attack. Hence, we can also somewhat ignore him and jump straight to Ling Yan, who will actually gain a massive 48% more damage from having Abyss Surges. That is massive. For pistols, Mortefi, Shixia and Alto are up next. The problem here is simple. Alto and Mortefi are both supportive and Shixia is our only real DPS character. However, I did include them both anyway because Static Mist is also somewhat of a supportive weapon because of its effect. Mortefi has the highest gain with around 37%. On average, pistol wielders will gain 32% more damage. And last but not least, we have the rectifiers, Encore and Yanlan. I kinda feel like I have to emphasize again on how little damage dealt actually matters if you don't know the time it takes for that. So, is Encore good? Yes. Is she better than Yanlin? I don't know, I can't tell you, I don't have frame counts. Anyway, for both, String Master is a superior weapon, so if you have or plan on getting String Master, Cosmic Ripples loses a lot in value. But the higher gain has Encore with around 44%, averaging at 40% for both. That said, let's now assess why I have made the tier list as it is. Let's start with C, the Gauntlet Abyss Surges. Don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic weapon. However, it only is for Ling Yang as of right now. So if you wanna main this guy, no, not that one. Yeah, this one. It is a great choice. You will just lose out on a lot of flexibility, at least as of right now. Given the large increases for both Jian and Calcs, why did I place it in B? Any guesses? Pause the video now and leave me a comment on why you think that is. Okay, here's the answer. As of right now, we have 3 Broadblade users, Jian, Calcs and Taoqi. Taoqi is more of a support and giving her a 5-star DPS weapon is simply not worth it.
Except if she's your waifu and you want to play DPS Taoqi, then do whatever you want.
Jian is the first featured resonator and comes with his signature weapon, which is simply better for him. So if you actually care about giving him the best weapon, take his signature. Calcs is one of the 5 possible standard characters, which also means you first have to get him in the first place and he will likely get power crept relatively fast. Again, I don't know your account or which characters you will have. If you have both Calcs and Jian, take the Broadblade, it is a fine decision. But again, due to aforementioned reasons, I placed it at B. Next up are the pistols. The 5-star pistols, Static Mist, are both a great offensive weapon providing crit, as well as a supportive weapon due to its effect and due to the lack of good offensive pistol DPS. They are hence not given justice on the sheet. However, they are still incredible on Mortefi, they are quite fine on Alto and also okay on Shixia. Overall, a fine choice, especially if you have Jian or another heavy attack based resonator which you want to play with Mortefi or Alto. However, they are also not the best choice for DPS. And that brings us to the rectifiers. A tier now. Cosmic Ripples is a great choice for Encore and Yanlin, and as I mentioned before, you can easily exchange their weapons in between tower floors. However, at the same time, that is also one of the reasons why I put them in A instead of S. There are currently only 2 DPS rectifier users, and both prefer String Master over Cosmic Ripples. It is a great choice if you have either Yanlin or Encore, or both, and do not have Yanlin's signature weapon, but it loses a bit in value if you do. And last but not least, S tier, the Sword Emerald of Genesis. Not only is it the only sword which offers crit rate, it also provides energy regen and attack percent, and to top it off, there are 4 resonators which you can give it to. Well, DPS ones, with 3 of them being available for free. You gain a fine increase on damage on all characters and it can be universally used on all of them. Also, sword number 18 is, except on dungeon, a pretty trashy weapon to be honest, which also means you are reliant on gacha or battle pass weapons such as Looming Gloss to fill that space. So, let's sum it up. What can we learn from all of this? In the end, select a weapon which will fit the resonators you have on your account. Technically, there are more sword users than non-sword users, so it is usually always a good choice since the weapon in itself is good and it can be used on many resonators. However, if you are free to play, really like Yin Lin and Encore and don't have String Master, taking the rectifier is also fine. The same thing applies for the Broadblade. In the end, think for yourself, don't blindly follow a tier list, your account will not be ruined, and you will get enough standard banner ports to get another 5-star standard weapon over the course of the game anyway. That said, thanks for watching, leave a comment and subscribe, like the video, and have a nice day. Peace!